Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. Apologies for my absence yesterday. I had visitors and they stayed late, and it seemed very important to connect with good, solid, stable people yesterday and take a break from the hackles and the madness that has erupted since Harry's book was leaked. So that's what was happening with me. It was nice to just have a break and, as I say, be with normal people for a bit. But I'm back today, and serious subject today. 2 readings on a serious subject, and the subject is mind control. This is a theme that has emerged for me in all of this nonsense that's come out with the book. There's all kinds of silly stories, but the serious one for me, well, one of the serious ones is, how susceptible is Harry and how controlled is he by people who may not have his best interests at heart? And I am using the Tarot of the Abyss for both of these readings today. There it is. And while I shuffle the cards a bit more, let me remind you, because this is a very serious topic, that this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes. It's all my opinion. It's speculation. I read on the royals because they're an archetypal family, and the things that happen to them can equally be applied to us and our own lives. So when we're looking at people who might be susceptible, who might not be that mature, who might be vulnerable, I think that's a good word. We all in our lives, well, many of us, not all of us, many of us have vulnerable people in our lives who perhaps have been duped, misled, taken advantage of. It happens. It's happening, in my opinion, to a royal. But we're going to look at, first of all, in this theme, we're going to look at the ghost stories, the haunting of Prince Harry, and just have a little chat. I'll try not to make it go on too long. It's just a 5-card reading I'm doing. But the first one is about all these Diana stories. Harry talking to the moon, talking to Mummy and the moon. I have literally seen that when I've got the moon card in the readings that I've done on Harry. Spooky for me as a tarot reader to see that. Meghan telling Harry at the Jubilee that while she was doing yoga, allegedly, of course, Kinsey Schofield reported this. Allegedly, Meghan told Harry that his mother came to her and said she was so pleased that they were at the Jubilee and that they were together. The box of hair that Harry talked to and hoped that the pregnancy test would be positive. What else do we have? Meghan clutching onto the tombstone at Diana's tomb, sort of draped over it and trying to connect with her. Tales about Harry and the woman with powers, and how she said, psychic in other words, that Harry, she could feel Diana's energy around him. What else? Psychics seeing Archie had broken an ornament on the Christmas tree, a Queen Elizabeth ornament on the Christmas tree. A hotel worker allegedly overhearing or witnessing a psychic visiting Harry and Meghan in a hotel in New York, and Meghan kind of acting out and saying, I can feel her, can't you feel her? All this kind of stuff. I have done a reading on this before, and I think it was reading number 381. I've lost my little piece of paper that has that number on it now, on the previous Royals playlist. But anyway, it was about the NBC interview that Harry did when that great gaffe when he said that he was making sure that Queen was surrounded by the right people. And then he said that Diana was with him now. She'd been with Prince William and helped him to find a wife and children and all that. And now she was with him. And I did a reading on it then, and it was pretty clear that he believed it, that he was susceptible to this kind of thing. And of course, we all want to feel that our loved ones are looking down on us, that we can talk to them. Many people contact psychics, go to tarot readers, all of that. I myself have been there, and it's fine. It's fine if the person is not trying to manipulate you and influence you. And so this reading, I've rambled enough, this reading is going to be looking at influence and how important this is in the relationship between Harry and Meghan, and whether Meghan is using this for her own nefarious purposes, and as I have to say again, this is just tarot. This is just looking at it from a tarot perspective and for entertainment purposes, and I'm not stating for 1 second that Meghan Markle in fact manipulates Prince Harry by claiming to be able to access his mother's spirit. So, disclaimer in the box below. Let's go. 5-card reading with the Tarot of the Abyss. What's the deal with this mummy's ghost business? How susceptible is Harry? How vulnerable is he? How important is this in their relationship that he believes, or that Meghan claims, that she can actually contact Princess Diana's spirit? Is she using this for nefarious purposes? Tarot reading, entertainment purposes only, of course. And then will he ever wake up and feel that he has been played? We've got the Hanged One, which is the Hanged Man, as the underlying energy. That's somebody who is in limbo, somebody who is powerless, disenfranchised, the Hanged Man. Somebody who's dangling there and is getting a new idea normally. The Hanged Man is normally somebody hanging upside down with a light around their head, being enlightened while they're hanging there. And there's a charitable interpretation of the Hanged One, the Hanged Man. It's a Piscean card, it's a Neptunian card. Neptune is all about deception and dreams and drugs and disorientation and all those kinds of things. The Neptunian fog. And if you've ever been through a difficult Neptune transit, you'll know all about that Neptunian fog. Everything seems weird and vague, and you're not quite sure what people mean or what you should do. It's very disorienting. It's very disconcerting. This tells me that this is a serious thing in Harry's life. This wanting to tap into the spirit world, wanting to hang upside down and listen to strange murmurings from the underworld, basically. Very, very, very important in his life and in his development and in the way he has chosen to go about things. And I have no problem with people wanting to access the spirit world and to communicate and all of that kind of stuff, provided they use it for personal growth and empowerment. And this person is disempowered, as the underlying energy has handed over their power and their personal autonomy to something else, and that's never good. That's never, ever good. So let us look at the heart of this reading as I go into a Neptunian fog. Grief and sorrow and loss, the 5 of Cups. This is somebody who cannot get over loss. The 5 of Cups cannot see anything positive in their life, can't focus on the good, can only focus on these cups that have been spilled, can't see the cups next to him that are filled with love, possibly the royal family waiting for him back in the UK. He's completely fixated on the grief. It's not been processed despite all the therapy and all the therapists who are thanked in his book. Apparently the acknowledgements page goes on and on and on. But this is grief and sorrow and loss and regret about time lost, time wasted, perhaps regret around how he was just a young boy when his mother actually died. He had apparently fallen out with her while they were on that yacht together. He hadn't been best behaved, gone home, didn't want to talk to her on the phone, all of those kinds of things that a lot of people speculate, and it is just speculation, have really stayed with him, and that he can't get over, he can't let go of the guilt, the grief, the remorse, all of that stuff. So how important is it? How susceptible is he? I've already seen we've got Neptune, we've got the Hanged One here, incredibly susceptible to these kinds of things, as he seems to be susceptible to drugs and things like that as well. He himself claims, so I don't have to say allegedly, he tells us in his book. But tell us, universe, please, what the deal is with him and psychics and ghosts and all of that kind of stuff. And we've got Mummy. We've got the Empress card, who is the archetypal mother, and there she is. It's the dream mother, and she's in the reverse. this desperate need to contact his mother, and it's a desperate need. And it really is, I'm not feeling very charitable towards him right now, given all the dreadful things that he has said and the hurt that he has caused, and perhaps even the physical harm that he could potentially be causing to people, not just the royals, but military people and things like that. But this is desperate. This is the mother who has been taken away, the Empress in reverse. She was the ideal mother because she died at that critical time in his development, in my amateur opinion. I'm not diagnosing professionally. But she was taken away at that very critical age, and he really stopped at that age, seemingly, in his development, lost mummy, Empress in reverse, and she became the dream mother, the ultimate mother, and no other woman can ever, because it's the ultimate woman, the Empress, no other woman can ever match her or live up to her. Or replace her even. This is terrible and desperate. How important is it in their relationship, Harry and Meghan's relationship, that he believed that Meghan can contact Diana and relay messages from her? Three of Wands. Literally, here comes the ship. Is somebody waiting? I feel... And this is a sad thing, a slight diversion. As I said, in the past, many years ago, when I was young and lost and pretty broken, I went to psychics. I tried all kinds of ways of contacting, wanting advice, wanting to contact the spirit world so that I could understand things that had happened to me, and eventually it dawned on me that I could do it myself. I didn't need other people to do it for me, and it's about being open and receptive and dedicated and faithful and listening and fine-tuning your own intuition, and also being detached from the outcome. Very, very, very important. This is waiting anxiously for messages, for some kind of response. So it's almost as if he was waiting for Meghan to come into his life, this ship that finally arrived. And we get that narrative strongly in his book, about how he longed for a wife, he longed for children, he longed to have that stability and security that William and Catherine had, not realizing that he had to first of all fix himself and sort out the reason why he was so prolific with women and didn't have long-standing relationships, and the ones he didn't want to stick it out with him and commit and take on the difficulty of being royal like Catherine was willing to do. And along came this ship. There he was waiting, humbly waiting for it, and in sailed this ship. You could say it was a pirate ship, just my opinion. I'm being a bit snarky, with black sails, but in it came. And he was waiting for it. He was waiting for that messenger. He was waiting for the person that would meet that need, that he had, that desperate need to talk to mummy. Now, how much does Meghan use this? And I have to say, I'm speculating, and this is just a tarot reading. Does she, according to the cards, for the purposes of tarot, does she use this to manipulate and control him? And we have the Three of Swords in reverse. The Three of Swords is about heartache and loss and betrayal. And it's come out. We've got two very difficult cards here in terms of loss and grief and pain and suffering. There's Five of Cups and the Three of Swords. Agony, anguish. Those are the two cards that most represent heartache and loss and grief and sorrow. She's offering him healing with the Three of Swords in reverse. She's saying, I am the one that can heal your pain. And in other words, you need me. And you can never, ever let go of me, because I am your answer. I am the answer that sailed in. You need me to recover from this pain that you are suffering because of the loss of your mother. This really is incredibly clear. And the threes, of course, are three in a marriage. Harry, Meghan and Diana. In their dynamic. It's very clear, and that is, again, my opinion as a tarot reader. Will Harry ever wake up and think, hang on a minute, this is BS, the Archie ornament story, the Meghan and the yoga and the messages, the Meghan saying I can feel her babe in the hotel as allegedly happened, rumour somebody wrote in one of the social media forums that I go and look at, many of us go and look at. Is he going to wake up, or is he just going to carry on believing this Neptunian kind of dream? What's going to happen? Justice. Justice is quite an encouraging card because it's about balance, balancing your karma, balancing the scales, things eventually resolving themselves. It always has a hint of legal proceedings around it as well, which is interesting. A wild leap for me, and this is purely my speculation, the energy I'm getting off that card. If a divorce happens, a legal separation happens, perhaps at the instigation of the royal family, and there is talk of that going around at the moment, rumours, tabloid, the Globe magazine in Florida, talking about a $50 million settlement. If that kind of thing happens, and I'm not saying it is, I'm saying if it happens, in future it may be that some clarity comes into the situation. But that has to happen first before he is freed from this fog and he starts to see clearly and things start to get balanced out and perhaps someone else gets their comeuppance and the scales of justice are balanced. I'm going to stop the reading now. Just drawn to this next card down, underlying energy is the Tower. It's another divorce card. It's also a crisis and a collapse card. Uranian energy of a sudden shock, a sudden breakdown, maybe even a kind of a mental breakdown that might happen, and that there might be some form of care proceedings, some sort of intervention, legal intervention that is required. And many people are now seeing what we have all been seeing for quite a long time, and that is that Harry is a very damaged man and perhaps is being taken advantage of by unscrupulous people around him. I'm saying allegedly for the millionth time in this reading, and this reading is all speculation and all my opinion, and I think that that is enough for now. Serious reading, serious cards there, and he is in a very difficult situation, let's just say. And the royals who care about him and have to try and find an answer to this problem have really got their work cut out, and I feel very sorry for them as well. But that's the first of these readings, and I'm going to hop over and do the next one. Thank you for watching this one, and I hope to see you over there.